James Wright. Welcome to my shop. I was out the other day and I came across this Stanley number 45. And if you've never come across a Stanley number 45 or 55, they're really something kind of cool. They are originally billed as a plane to replace 7 planes in your shop. And they do all sorts of different things. They do grooving, they do dados, they do channels, they do beading, and all sorts of really interesting things. You can turn them into a molding plane even. And they made them from, I think, 1880 until around the 40s, I believe, is when they stopped making them. Just a cool plane. So I picked this one up. It wasn't in very good condition. A lot of the plating has come off. There was a lot of rust on it. Several pieces were twisted. It just wasn't perfect. But with a little bit of work, I can make it work well. So come along with me. I'm going to show you how I actually went through restoring this plane.
So the first step is taking it apart, and most of it is fairly obvious. Screws come off. Pieces slide off, and the whole thing comes apart. It's actually really easy to do. They're intended to be taken apart and put back together in different orientations. Inspecting all the elements, I want to make sure that these skates are straight. I'll actually take both skates, put them side by side, and make sure that there's no gaps between them. One of them was slightly out and I had to tweak it. That's pretty easy to do by hand. Then I put them in a bath of vinegar and water, 50% vinegar, 50% water overnight. Let that soak the rust off. Just clean all the surfaces. I take the wooden pieces over here, particularly the fence, and plane down all 4 edges, making sure that they are 90 degrees and flat. This one was just dinged up a little bit, and I wanted to make it nice and smooth. The edge of a chisel actually is very useful for taking the old lacquer or shellac off. It allows you to easily and quickly scrape it down to bare wood without actually damaging the wood at all. A really useful little tip. A little bit of boiled linseed oil, and after that dries, I put on some paste wax and buffed it down to a nice finish. I just love the feel of that buffed down wax. It's a great handle. So after everything comes out of the bath, I clean it all off, oil it, and protect it. I don't want to allow any rust to come on. Out of the bath, I also scrub it off in the sink with a wire brush and a little bit of sandpaper in a few places. But I use 3-in-1 WD-40 and a little bit of olive oil depending on where they are. 3-in-1 for the mechanical parts and olive oil for the surfaces. So now it's time to sharpen it. This only came with the one iron or cutter, and you sharpen it just like you would a plane iron. I like to finish everything up with a strop, give it that nice honed edge. Then put it all back together. It goes together just as easy as it comes apart. I want to make sure that this fence is perfectly parallel with the 2 skates. Sometimes you have to adjust that a little bit with a little more planing, but in this case it ended up being absolutely perfect. So now the fence and both skates are all parallel and ready to do some testing. And here's the fun part. It just slides down the board like butter and you get this perfect groove. Yeah, it makes you happy. And that's what it's all about. You can watch that all day long.
So there you have it. That is how I went through and restored this Stanley number 45. These are really a gorgeous tool, something that you just got to have on your shelf because they're fun. They have a little bit of show, but they're also a workhorse. You can do a lot of different things with it once you start to get to know how all it works. There's a few pieces missing on this particular one, and I'm going to pull some pieces from another one I have. I'm still looking for a couple of the cutters that I don't have. And there's a few other odds and ends that I'd like to collect over time. But for right now, this is a great start. Let me know in the comments below, what did you like? What didn't you like? Is there something you'd like to see next time? Is there something you thought I could do better? Or if you have some particular question, let me know. I'd love to answer it. I hope you all have a good day. See you next time.